Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. So the race against time is on. By this Saturday, we are yet to experience another hike in fuel and LPG product hikes. And already we know that many of you are trooping to the fuel pumps to either fill your tanks or get barrels of it, waiting that price hike. We also know that that government intervention where the reduction or the removal of the stabilization and recovery levy on fuel products is supposed to kick in. But we've been told that Parliament will have to reconvene for that to happen, even though the minority have already said that is not the case. But we'll be getting into the details of this particular hike, visit the fuel pumps and hear from COPEC on this particular development. But first, we can hear from the Chief Executive of the Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimandua, who's been interacting with Evans Mensah on PM Express.
Oh yeah, the trend is showing that way. You know, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. I mean, like Ngudu said earlier on, prices are so volatile. If it does, it's 7%, it's going to be increased. Definitely, it's something we have to pass.
Okay, so when should consumers expect that increase to reflect at the pumps?
Basically, it's the end of the window, the beginning of the next window. Normally, that's how we work.
So the next,
but then that we sorted out procedurally. Obviously, we can just get out the public may not be that much.
Yeah, I mean, I can guarantee you that. When is the next price window, and the beginning of the next one?
We are just ending the 15th, then we start on this.
On the 16th, so this will be Saturday morning.
Yeah.
This will be Saturday morning.
So that's the situation. By Saturday morning, you should be expecting the 7% increment to kick in at the pumps. Also on the same show last night, ranking member and spokesperson of the minority when it comes to energy issues, John Jinapo, mentioned that the government ought to let us know how much exactly has accrued in the stabilization fund and how they are hoping to expend that. We can listen to him.
So that means that you are not reducing the prices now.
No, yes.
And that until Parliament resumes on 26th, the minister then has to lay the document. It is referred to the committee goes to deliberate, brings it to the plenary approves, and it's only 2 months. Is that not what they want to do?
2 months, yes.
So the first thing is that the MPA should tell us how much do we have in the price stabilization levy. The essence of the price stabilization levy is to accumulate money so that when there's an increment like we are expecting, you can fall on that money to cushion consumers. So they don't need to even tell consumers that we are suspending, withdrawing, or whatever with the price stabilization. The price stabilization is supposed to be accumulating money. And when I checked from the energy sector levies account, there's so much money in that account. It's unfortunate that I'm at a program. That's why I said I wish I was there. I would have pulled all the figures. Because we are talking of hundreds of millions of cedis, which can cushion consumers for a considerable period of time before Parliament resumes and decide whether to suspend that tax component or not. Because it's a tax. It is the Energy Sector Levies Act. So I'm surprised that the MPA says that they are waiting for Parliament to resume. So I'm asking that MPA, how much do you have in the price stabilization levy? And how many weeks, days, or months can that amount cushion consumers? I think we should answer that question.
And so we are learning at the last check that the stabilization fund, in terms of how much is accrued, is over 400 million. And that's what we know. But it remains to be seen what exactly the Finance Ministry's response or reaction to this is, because the NPA has mentioned that that 2 months removal of the stabilization and recovery levy will not kick in anytime soon unless they get a parliamentary approval, even though the minority says that will not be the case. But many of you have been reacting. Consumers, it affects you, it affects me. And what exactly are your thoughts on that? We've been handing over the microphone to some of you. Listen to your views.
In view of what they've already proposed in increasing the LPG gas, we would like to plead with the government to do something about it, because with the standard of the living now in Accra, it's getting higher. and with the payments of people's not being increased and salaries not being increased.
To me, I think it's going to worry us a lot as the consumers, because whenever things are being increased, it affects lives a lot. So that is my little opinion.
In fact, the fuel price has affected everything basically in Ghana. Since the transport, it has affected the transportation and marketers. Everything that we do in Ghana depends on transport. It's a very bad thing, and I don't encourage that the fuel price should be increased. I think that it should rather be decreased, so as we will feel them in our pockets and in our lifestyle.
I'm a driver as well. I'm a commercial driver too, because nowadays things are not well. Things are not going well at all, because now the system is hard to the extent that if you go to work, you buy fuel roughly now. Fuel is roughly now 28, 29. So we take it at 30 cedis for a gallon. So if as a commercial driver want to use 4 gallons a day to work, is roughly 120. And 120, how are you going to work with 120 before you get your daily sales, before you get something home? So increase of the fuel, we are not agree with it. So we are pleading to the government if they can do something about it, so that the fuel price will come down. So those we are in the system now will help us so that the passengers too can get money and take buses to wherever they are going. We people who are driving cars too will be okay.
I'm just pleading to the government to reduce the fuel price, because now it's not easy. Because of the fuel price, we are suffering so much. Because now, if you buy the fuel within a short time, or you will not even get your money.
Once we vote, for once we believed in the government and we give the government the authority we have, he has the right to also think of us and do what will benefit the citizens, so that they will be free and there will be peace in everywhere.
The increment should be memorized for us, because a lot of people can't afford to buy the gas. So I would just tell the public that they should think about this and then help the traders who go and then buy gas for cooking and even to the vehicles, etc.
So if you didn't know, by Saturday, 16th October, fuel and LPG products will go up by 7%. And already, transport operators have served a notice to government that they will be forced to increase transport fares by 20% if a number of levies on fuel products are not either scrapped, merged, or reduced. And they've served that notice. They just were short of giving timelines, but it's just emerging also that by Saturday, we're getting a 7% increment on that. My colleague, Manuel Kranting, has visited a number of fuel stations. Right now, he's stationed at the Guelph filling station at Nima, and he joins us live with reactions at the pump. Manuel, fill us in on what exactly it is you've noticed since you've been to the filling station today.
So you can see the activity behind me. Quite a number of vehicles are trooping in here to get their tanks filled. Indeed, from off-air interactions that I've had with them, the price have been consistently in the past couple of weeks been rising. And the attendant here just told me that just at the start of this week, a liter was going for 6 cedis, 50 pesos. Today is at 6 cedis, 52 pesos. And with the announcement of a possible increment by the weekend, indeed there are concerns about this this price quotation actually even moving further from where it is now. I'll try and just move briefly and speak to a few of the customers here who really have I've had the cause to, complain about the prices. My boss, briefly, good afternoon. You're live on a pulse on the JoyNews channel. Grateful. I see that you're rushing here trying to fill your tank. Have you heard of impending, fuel price hikes?
Yeah, I read about it. I was told there is a 7% increment, and this is what we expected. This is not what we were expecting from the president and the vice president. They told us everything is going to be as we think it's going to be. I don't know what is happening now. You know, every single second before you hear, they are going to tell you we are increasing your fuel and then the taxes. I don't know what they are doing. Mr. President need to do something about it. You understand me? This is all I can say for now. You understand me?
And so, MFI, you heard him there. He's one of the concerned, of course, patrons here. I'll try and speak to the attendants and speak to even some more people who are buying this afternoon. Grateful, sir, if you could speak to us just briefly. We see a lot of activity here in your yard. You're live on the JoyNews channel. We see a lot of activity here in your yard. Tell us, is it a number of people who come here every day? Just briefly, is this a carrying number? Of course, the normal number that you see, the activity that we are seeing here.
Like the number?
Yeah, you can find Barbeto petrol wahano. I say ne akosro. And I say sana debia and Kofobeto. Sa debia. Sana debia. But you say debia na mo full on the price no cost. You say by weekend na 7%. So abekao.
I'm meeting sir.
Now customers no beto. Amune mo nkasa den mo catch them.
I will complaining.
And so you're seeing, of course, the place is quite busy, and so he's not getting so much time to speak to me. What's your complaining? I don't know. Catch you.
Catch you and say, I'm fear her.
Okay.
I say, I buy a baby fan whom I say, like, I'm back from Kakra.
Okay. All right. And so he's saying that indeed he's been getting the concerns that you've been hearing some of the customers share this afternoon with us. They share them with him as an attendant even here at the Nima Gore filling station. He says that for them there's not much that they can do, and as you heard him say in Tree, it's a matter of government policy and so on and so forth. Let me try and speak to this gentleman here and try and find out if he's able to speak to us. Grateful, sir, if you could speak to us just briefly. We're live on the JoyNews channel. Indeed, he's not able to speak to us, but I see this truck driver approaching who would speak to us briefly on the channel. Master, good afternoon. Yeah. Yes, I say mo full no. I say obeko pon bia na full no price na cost.
Ni dem mo anutu enu mu na e wo no.
Na e ba ne say.
Ayenti mi chiro.
Mutumi nche.
Da bia ne e to onyame ma ye na ento. Why?
Say price no cost ro sa na mama passengers for no na etua na.
Nya na etua ya ade e.
Wa na mutia. Okay, and so he says that they pay it on their own, but say na niama ne cost no say price no cost ro sa na eventually mo be increase mo lose de ben.
You lose bibia.
What's the mo lose bibia? Na mo lose no.
Boss mama go.
And MFI really has to be a bread and butter issue, and even as they complain about the hikes in the prices, you're seeing people want to rush about their daily business activities, so that, as you heard him say in Tree, the hikes affect the sales that they are able to rake in every day, and so they have to work extra hard to make up for the deficit that is created by the margin that is increased. And so indeed that's the activity. That's the activity really that we're seeing here at the Gore filling station at Nima. And indeed, I see a lot of Okada riders who are just across that end and buying. So I just want to speak to them also. And these folks, you get the sense that they buy in bits from different stations. My boss, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
What's your name?
My name is Abdul Karim Mahmoud.
Abdul Karim, tell me, what is the situation with your fuel prices?
We cannot say anything. It has already been increased, so there's nothing we can do.
But catch me, debia mokotwa price no increase and I confirm. And I stable.
Stable.
Okay. For how long ne?
Like I say, for about 2 weeks now. It's normal But for today, I don't know.
For today, you don't know.
Yeah.
But I say by Saturday now, I increase it by 7%. What you know?
I know that I'm Shadan. Man.
The price increase by 7%. A bit affected.
So increase the a bit affected, especially we so work down a bit affected.
How?
We thought 20 cities. At first, 20 cities. It lasts from morning to around, let me say, 4. But now, if you buy 20 CDs from here to Mamobi, unless you come and buy a new one, so at least always your tank has to be full.
You say what? You talk something. I want to hear you.
I say, look at petrol intensity. It's too high. Therefore, reduce the petrol for us. We don't know what is going on.
So this one be how much?
10 cities with that. Look, like pure water. But we pray for God. Maybe God help them to make them see what is going on to the country to help the country.
They say by Saturday now it go up again by 7%. That one how you go do am?
We can't talk. If we talk, our talk is not a right way for them. So what they want is what they're doing.
So what do they want to make the government do help you?
The government for what is right. The government for what is right to do right.
The right, what be the right thing? No?
But we like this. Them they are different than us because if them go, the education they have done our own be different. So them for know what is the meaning of the education they have, and they follow the way to do the right thing to the country. Okay.
So you don't want to make the price come down?
Inshallah, by grace of God, if you come down, we shall, alhamdulillah.
Okay. Thank you. And so these are some of the Okada riders who are here trying to fill the tank. And you saw him show me the gallon. He says that 10 Ghana cedis worth of fuel is almost like pure water. But generally, you're seeing a sense of increased activity at the fuel pumps, with a lot of them trooping in. The catch, however, is that most of them say they are left with no choice, because whether the fuel prices increase or not, they would have to still continue with their daily activities. And so the options available to some of them to work extra to make up for the shortfall, or just continue enduring it as they hope that government does something to reduce the prices as they are seeing at the various pumps. So MF, if you can hear me though, this is a situation that we have here at the Nima Goil filling station.
Well, Manuel, just before I let you off, by the way, let me find out, have you filled your tank already?
MFA, we are filling tonight. We are filling and filling all the rest that we have to fill.
That's my colleague Manuel Cranting reporting live from the Nima Goil filling station. He's been interacting with some consumers on the expected fuel increment, 7% increment by Saturday, effective October 16. And we're still waiting for when exactly that stabilization and a recovery levy that has been removed by the NPA, when exactly is going to kick in, when we've been told that they need parliamentary approval for that to happen. And we've told you also about a possible increment in transport fares. We're watching that, and we'll be hearing later on or subsequently from COPEC on this latest development, because it's been on for a while. We were told it was 6.50 per litre back then. Today at the pumps it's 6.52, and that is when we are still awaiting the increment on LPG and fuel at the various stations. We move on now at some point, and would definitely return to it subsequently, issues about fuel, because it's of interest to all of you. But you can share your thoughts with us. Tweet at us on Twitter, is at the hashtag #ThePulse, and then also on Facebook and all our platforms. You can leave your comments there as well.